Welcome everyone to another evening live stream. Recurring subscribers and other open source developers from the experience probably not already constantly stuff breaks. And today, make it short, I fixed it already. So the quick summary is of all the updates, every other update breaks something, of course. It's only constant change and regressions. T-shirts below to support our work and show the world. So I have already a fix, so let's comment this out. So what was happening was, as I mentioned, I fixed this already, which is okay. Let's use I print this suspended, okay, whatever. So what failed was graph. Among us, we have a couple of other things. This was, I believe, two graph, a GNU man page or similar such documentation format processing thing, and this is how it fails. I don't really need to show you the most. You can here already see graph cannot execute binary because we cross compile, right? Or epic thread-ripping Horizon can't without QEMU anyway execute that. And the makefile is also like, thank you very much. This stuff is also, yes, 24 sucking build systems and one sucks more than the others. Anyway, I was wondering here, it's like I tried to, so of course we can never run cross-compiled binaries, right? So the solution for that is simple. Have a native executable, right? And previously it turned out we simply disabled that. That's not, so somehow without doc does not work. What did we have? Yeah, without dash without dash doc, no, doesn't work. I did not debug why this doesn't work. So previously we had only for years workarounded that by, you cross-compile it, you don't get the documentation, which is of course not ideal. So pro tip, instead of YOLOing stuff, yes, I shouldn't have done it, but probably years ago, I was looking at this makefile and it's like, okay, you had me at this stuff. There's also so much of pain and torture I endure here with fixing this stuff. So today I said, you know what, let's make, of course, our goal is perfection. So I quickly in 30-minute debugging and YOLOing and makefile studying. So our solution, or my solution for this is, from now on, graph cross-compiled stuff will come with documentation. So for this I changed this graph here to conditionally build in stage 0 our toolchain previous video stage. So if you native build this, you don't need this. This is why do we have this cryptic encoding stuff? This is if you cross build, which I usually do and probably you should too, then you get this. Otherwise we don't need this, right? This is why, if you're wondering why some stuff is conditional, because sometimes we don't need it, right? And why build it in Bootstrap if we don't need it? And then also, so this alone is not enough. We also need to override, because as you might quickly have seen a minute ago in this makefile, I also override the graph binary thing and then also the graph bin path, because you might wonder why. Because somehow they special cased graph for graph bin, but then also, and did not special case and open hardcode trough, EQN, and a handful of other graph related utilities, right? So for graph bin, we need this override to use another graph, not the top level makefile directory, just compiled one. And for all the others, like trough, EQN, and so on, we need graph bin path. And yes, I realize the very locatable, readable T2 build recipes are a treasure trove for all the other distributions, for all the other 2013 distributions, how to work around and cross-compile stuff, which is probably why we have top 10 Red Hat and IBM NUT pool access to our shiny little website. Anyway, so yeah, we commit this, then this works. Let's rebuild this. Just a little summary, right? Chilling here in the overheated 30 freaking degrees office, thanks to globally warmed climate crisis. At least we have Irish beer to cool down with that. So this works, as you see here, for RISC-V and x86. Did I, by the way, let's nothing like wasting some CPU cycles unnecessarily. What did I do here? Not nice. I wanted to do one more thing, except hanging with the community. And also, it's not in general a nice thing to see how Linux distributions are developed, like not all the Red Hat hiding every nitty-gritty detail behind not double but quadruple digit dollar source subscription and support stuff, which probably pro tip we should do too. So share, like, subscribe, and leave me below, comment below how much should our monthly open source board support package, cross compilation and fixed patch subscription be, except of course Patreon, GoFundMe and YouTube membership. The other thing I wanted to do, speaking of shiny little stuff, right? You know what, I should, oh no, my SSD fell out. Amazing, I should have screwed it in. Let me just, all right. Much more, not only better than lifting up your SBCs, which probably I should put into, hopefully this. Yes, pro tip, don't lift up. Should live on YouTube. Yeah, it looks still in one piece. Yeah, so much to pro tip, screw in your M.2. So more dedicated review video coming. Tiny shout out, they were so nice to send it to us for free without any strings attached through the RISC-V developer program stuff. Thanks again, mates, you rock and are amazing. Dedicated, so obviously more RISC-V work, not only very previously not bribed, paid to be in love, but already in love with a reduced and simple RISC-V instructions and architecture, except we want a vector extension that doesn't suck. MangoPie, previous videos. Yes, we want a not 0.7 draft, previous video vector extension. We want the real deal, and hopefully soon, but that is already affordable and more performance than the probably 6 times more expensive unmatched. And I talk so much because, of course, I'm waiting here for X stuff to compile. And with this compile, so that has a, long story short, a PowerVR GPU, the one we love from the MIPS 32 Imagination Tech CI20, and not only vintage and retro, but also the previous video Intel GMA 500 Pulsebo, like in the Sony Vario P previous video moment channel. And so let's also enable this experimental driver. I have no idea, probably we will have to debug around on this. It will probably not just work. So right now they ship this, so they upstream, the company, Asian company, overseas company, ships this with some binary only stuff that may or may not work a little bit, the usual Imagination Tech stuff. It brings up some X, so right now you can use it with ModeSet X or software isolated Wayland. There is some Imagination Tech financed upstream work, which we are going to test soon. And that is what I want to enable now, because right now it is only enabled for ARM. Let's see if it just builds for RISC-V. That was the other second thing. And for this, obviously, I need to become more successful. I cannot just patch people's bugs all day long here live on YouTube, so subscribe to the Moment channel. I probably urgently need to, at least every 14 days, get a proper pre-edited review video out for a more growing tech tips channel there of ours. For today, enablement, let's see how it works. So we have here Imagination Experimental, and right now we only enable that for ARM. The question is, how do we do this? So it's getting a little bit convoluted here. So we have like Spark not do much because outdated stuff. Also Super H Dito. So probably we could try to build this for everything. So basically these are ARM only drivers, so probably ARM only. Why do we have this twice? I currently do not quite remember. Maybe we unify that. Broadcom. This was, so I need to paste it somewhere first. Vulkan drivers somewhere like, I guess here. Let's paste that here. And yes, that means we also built it for PowerPC and x86. There were once huge announcements from Imagination of like, hey, we soon have PCIe cards. Of course, I was laughing at that on the Moment channel some years ago, like 2 or so. I have not yet seen them. Maybe one day. Imagination Core VR PCIe. It's actually something. This is what is, but this is not. It's usually misleading, right? Yeah, 2021, somewhere here. So here, let's maybe enable this experimental driver. On this pawn side here, previously known as Tritter, now abbreviated as X. Cheers. Yeah, the fantasy, the imagination tech fantasy of high performance and cloud computing. I was laughing 2 years ago. And I was laughing 2 years ago. Now I have an SBC with it. Yay! Yeah, there will probably be lots of things to patch. And also right now it's only a, probably not yet the most working Vulkan driver, and I'm not even sure what's the status. I'm not sure if it draws more than a colored rectangle. But maybe it does. So I've maybe previously, so maybe the reason I could of course subversion git log and blame that, but yeah, YOLO, whatever. I guess maybe previously I had here maybe ARM and 64. I've no idea. Theoretically this could be a little bit sorted. Maybe it's usually best. I mean, either I would usually recommend sort by alphabet or priority, like importance of, like, if 90% market share is AMD, then AMD first, which yeah starts with A. So so Asahi, and then STU V, V3D, VC4. The only thing is, yeah, I should have copy and pasted that, because if I type this, there's always a possibility of typos. I would hope. Is it now, by the way? It's not fully alphabetically sorted, and this also not. Let's alphabetically sort this until there's a better reason not to. KS, KM, Kemso, whatever that was. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, what was it? K, L, P, T, S, T. So, some sorting there. Let's see if that blends. Did we build also, okay, whatever. So we wanted for RISC-V. Did we build Mesa already? Probably. Oh no, we didn't. Okay, then we need to wait a second. So both, also probably next, the small quirks. I added the build time estimate thing, which I'm such a quality of life developer, and just overall happiness improvement. It's, yeah, it's just nice to see. Next I need a percentage here, because like percentage is not that easy to YOLO in there, because this is used for emerge, and because initially I thought, I mean, just adding that is not so easy, because our percentage we can only calculate by counting all the log files, which on a 270 megahertz ultra spark or 32-bit RISC, oh no, this is 64-bit RISC-V is computationally expensive on an SD card. It's like wasting half a second or God forbid, 40 megahertz ultra spark station. Next cube, SGIO2. It's like 5 seconds counting SCSI drive files. But the other thing is emerge, right? Just the other day I realized, now wait a second, there are 2 different implementations, because because it's like one backend but 2 front ends, right? So yeah, we need to, so integrating that is even harder. Like, it's so easy, right? Just a percentage, like, yeah, 2 front ends, and emerge is actually easy. The more difficult is actually the log file counting, which, yes, it's not super difficult, just inconvenient, right? So what's our Mesa doing here? I want to see. So good that both builds here are relatively epic thread wrapping. All right, we can commit this graph stuff. So this graph stuff is that here. So theoretically, as well, let's proper blame here the regressions that probably data updated. Oh no, no tech updated. But doesn't matter, data or no tech would have happened to me too. Fixed graph crosstalk regression from that. By finally actually building the docs using a bootstrap native. Oh no. Fixed graph crosstalk regression from by finally actually building the doc using native binary. It's probably good enough there. What is our freaking... I want to see Mesa build all of those var adm logs Mesa. Anyone? No, not yet. Oh, come on. Or at least. Cheers. Maybe, I mean, the thing is, a lot of this time, let's check here, a lot of those builds before you whine. I mean, one is nice, should be in the background, should. I believe 15 years ago, nice Unix scheduling priority was actually a hard priority. I'm not even sure if it's still the most. So I'm the most hard enforced priority in the Linux scheduler. Yeah, Linux scheduler. Like all the subsystems, so complicated. Even I lose overview. Because I had the impression recently. So basically, I'm not really sure if like all the CPU time is allocated before it's given to the next Unix scheduling priority in Linux anymore. If you know defense controller, we could Google that. Ah, Mesa. That is 36 years. That is why we thread wrap that. 36 seconds. Let's see. So that is RISC-V with hopefully not only more load, but let's see. Let's review the log file. That should give us Mesa imagination. Yep. So we are building software roster, AMD, Imagination Experimental, and Intel. Yeah, actually, yeah, I enabled Intel. I actually plugged in an Intel DG1. So I did even so much more stuff. I mean, some of the stuff would have actually maybe some. Ah, this is also built. Woohoo! We built it. Yay! If it will work, we will find out on message. I'm not testing this today. I need to go home actually. Surprise! 21 o'clock. Need to freaking go home. I plugged in an Intel DG1, so not only did I auction myself an affordable Intel DG1. Why affordable? Because it was auctioned as it doesn't freaking work. Because of course it doesn't just work in any. Still paid more than €6.90 though than I paid for some other Matrox cards. Oh, actually I checked the other day. I also got myself an Apple G5 Xserve, and I also got it for €6.90 or so. Like, oh yes, it has. See my Instagram, right? It has a blown PSU, but I'm working on it, and I ordered already capacitors. So, share, like, subscribe for Intel G5 Xserve PSU recapping and hopefully working. If that doesn't work, I will simply convert it. I also ordered for the 67 cents a Molex connector that fits the G5 logic board. If that doesn't work, I will simply plug in a PC power supply and call it a day. Because I'm not paying 250 or 300 euro for bloody Apple G5 Xserve power supply. Anyway, so I plugged in, I tested the Intel DG1, and it was hard enough to get working on Ryzen for resource allocation reasons. It also, this bloody shit. So I need to debug this also first. So, long story short, so the Intel DJ1 stuff can work on some other AMD x86, but it depends on your BIOS and stuff. And also it will not boot post, right? It will work as a Linux GPU, not boost post GPU. And so no boot graphics, if you're, or like secondary graphic, right? And then it also didn't work in all my, I believe in my AM5 it didn't work. I forgot the combination. In one like AM4 it worked, or AM5 or not, or whatever. The reason was resource allocation, right? Not really sure what's going on there. I didn't really debug it, just like in one system it refused to allocate all the PCI bar base address register memory regions for whatever. All right, I believe maybe IOMU or other PCIe switches, right? Because of transparent PCIe switches on modern overly convoluted AMD chipset boards. But in one it worked. Probably, maybe also later in one other slot, maybe later, I forgot the details, it's some weeks ago. It is possible that on the AM5 system it later worked in another PCIe slot or so, but whatever. My point is, so yeah, that worked. I also patched that on, so I started to patch the Intel driver off camera. Sometimes, surprise, sometimes half of the time I do off camera. And oh, UPower. So this is one of the, so I still need to fix this one Perl regression and this and Python. So yeah, I have still annoying shit work to do, which you can super thank and Patreon me for. Something of ever Mason install. So this was building some weeks ago. I've like, it's like literally, it's like, why does, also this, the problem is the stuff is also either complex and stitched together with, in Germany say German, some old-fashioned German saying is stitched together with hot needles or so, if that also exists in English. I have no idea, didn't Google that. Basically it's YOLO together with duct tape, right? With Python, Makefile, one of the 2 dozens of sucking build systems. Sometimes it builds, sometimes it doesn't, depending on the state of the moon. Temperature, right, this Perl. Python shit fails, Perl shit fails, Groff fails, GNU dunk fails, like, The only constant is change and regressions. I soon order this t-shirt myself, obviously, for obvious reasons. To our merch, right, t-shirt merch, down below. The Intel DJ1 did not want to allocate, it allocated, so what was failing there? So something was failing. So the Intel DJ1 did not just work in the unmatched RISC-V cube. What even was the reason? So I patched for hours. The patches are probably in T2. So T2 has some Intel, T2 has special Intel i915 and later DG discrete graphic enablement, which did not yet fully work. So it compiles, it starts to do stuff, but what failed? I forgot what. So the Linux kernel started to do some stuff. What failed there? Something failed. I believe it started to load the firmware into the card. And it failed after the first of some initialization mailbox not coming back stuff or so. Something of that sort, I believe, happened. But don't quote me on that off the record. Yeah. So much to get an Intel GG1 for your RISC-V cube, and of course it doesn't work. So a low power old AMD GPU stays in there. So yeah, some times are off. This is awfully lot off, not really sure. So yeah, that is the stuff, right? You do so much stuff here in live and off camera and at midnight on your couch at home and after work. And then I changed the bin utils. Previous video, right? Just some days ago I changed bin utils, not building all the targets, to cut down the build time on the P3 from, what was it, 2 hours 30 or so to 1 hour 40 or something of that sort. Like, if you were wondering, the stuff we do, has it impact? Yes, of course. So this time is new. Yeah, 140. So I believe previously it was 2 hours 30 or so on a. Actually, I should power on the tool P3. Yeah, and due to this improvement, I believe it was 6 seconds. So it is probably over 50 minutes. It's probably over 50 minutes on a embarrassingly swapping to death P3. It's 6 seconds on Horizon, right? Oh, this fails for reasons. Oh, thank you much. Cool, I have Firefox to fix. Yay! Everything you ever wanted to fix. Just fix it to build again. Of course it breaks. Maybe I remembered that and then we call it a day. I will not fix this now. Basically, share, like, subscribe. Tune in back tomorrow for refixing Firefox the first time for RISC-V because shit constantly breaks. Yay. What is breaking this time? Error. Declared. No, this is just having error in the freaking name. Yeah, this, by the way, sucks majorly to have error in the name, and then you look for the bloody stop and error. Where the freaking heck is even the... my point actually was, like, yeah, now, so 6 seconds. So on an Epic Threadripper Ryzen, it improves the build time of bin utils from 36 to 30 seconds. On a Ryzen 750X. The problem is now I just spent so many resources and efforts to update all our cache files with dependencies and reference build times, and now all our carefully timed reference times are off. Why does this fail now? I don't remember this failing the other day. What? Why does everything? Cheers to this, to build errors. Oh man, sorry, that must have been for headphone users. I'm sorry, I underestimated that. Why does this fail? I don't even remember this failing the last time I built it. No build machine compiler for Gen, Table, Gen, Unicode version C. Due. I mean, I'm pretty sure this was building just like the day before yesterday. It is not impossible that so all the other stuff builds. It's not impossible that we broke this with our toolchain path quirk, right? So much to the only constant change and our own regressions. And the only substitute for testing is more testing, which obviously we do before you realize. Free BD, hello. Is there anything suspicious we YOLO'd or okay, not there? Not there. Did we recently update it? Data? Not recently. Is that even the latest version? Yeah, cool, that doesn't. Oh, this is GitHub. Yeah, probably I need to improve. I urgently need to improve our GitHub version scanning stuff. 10 or okay, there is a new version. Will of course not fix it, but yeah, looks like I must have broken it. So something is probably partially turned a little bit off somehow. Surprises me. I have no idea how this happened. Anyway, I will do this later. Let's go rather. There's one last thing. Why does Firefox like? Yeah, this. I don't know what people are. Ah, here's something. Invalid BFD. Can't set BFD default target. Invalid BFD target. Could not compile proc macro 2. This sounds like Rust and cargo. Excuse me. Is this? I have no idea if that is. I probably. So what I usually do then is it costs 2 hours of electricity, which is why I'm asking for donations. Building the revision before I change the toolchain stuff and see if this fixes that. It is also possible that the last Rust and cargo update broke that, and I have zero clue what's up with FreeBD here. I'm not really feeling like debugging this now. I wanted to freaking go home. What time? Oh, it's only 21:15. And this is, by the way, if you were wondering, of all the people yelling about open source developers, this is, by the way, how 90% of the open source is developed, right? People, after work, weekends and nights, as their hobby, implementing open source, fixing stuff for their fun. Once upon a time, it was fun. So absolutely, or do we have? We probably don't have. So I continue the build just to see if everything else builds right. If it's only Firefox and, I mean, except Perl and Python things, but otherwise, FreeBD is somehow new. So basically for the binutils time, it means I started already to regenerate the cache files. We anyway have some minor polishing. Actually, I committed already quite some over the last days. But here, I need to rebuild Firefox also. Eventually, it's like, yeah, just last week, stuff was relatively okayish precise. Time estimates, and now there are some more again. Conf dir, we probably also don't build a native thing, do we? No. And this totally doesn't ring any bell unless some generic fix-up is checking for the tools dir, which I thought we gentab. So what do they freaking, how do we run Nathan setup cross ini? This looks all legit. Binaries, GCC, host Linux. I mean, do we need hosts? Does it mean does this need AC equals? What do we? Oh, these are use CPP. Yeah, this is a misnamed thing. This surely will not fix it, will it? Yeah. How did this previously freaking build? Cargs native install, or does some configured Meson check fail to build something? And by the way, of course, the Meson logs are an object dir or whatever you supply Meson. Of course, why should it be somewhere easily accessible? Or is it... How did this freaking previously build? I need to get better at this. I need to have more of a oh, something failed. Ah, send provisioning. Yeah, send provisioning. This failed for... Okay, this failed similar. Okay, this failed similar to Firefox. I wonder what regression we have there now. Although it is not impossible that it is... I mean, thin provisioning failed for some architectures, but usually only for... Or did I not fix that even? But anyway, that's not too atypical to fail there. Like, yeah, of course not. Yeah, Degraver agrees. They think CXX was... Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. It's misnamed, right? CPP was for me the C preprocessor, but of course the Meson people had other ideas, right? We can double check that, but I'm pretty sure I googled that, and it's the best with typo. Somewhere, wherever you, of course, 2022, you Google that, and of course you don't find it. CPP to the C++. So yeah, I didn't fantasize this shit together. Usually extract, so get compiler C. We could also give the argument CPP. Yeah, this sucks, right? For me, like for Unix people, like, I mean, I'm basically, I'm not like a true original Unix person, didn't even grow up with Unix. What should we call me? Like, if you have the original Unix, original generation of writing Unix, am I second or third generation Unix, aka glorified Linux user? But even for me, right, CPP is C preprocessor. How can this must have really strangely, and this is why we can't have nice things, right? Everything is, nothing matches, nothing is systematic. We have, and this is how you have bugs, right? I mean, obviously, initially I was generating that wrong, right? Until I was like, YOLO, why does it not freaking work? It's like, what? Like, what were they thinking? Some Windows or so developers at Mozilla or stuff? I have no freaking, yeah. I have no freaking idea what they must have been Windows developers also. Yeah, FreeBD. This is absolutely. I don't have. I just cleaned all the build logs, which was also does. But FreeBD did build for RISC-V or not? This is bizarre. Or not? What are best with logs? Yeah, this build. What was it? Gen? What was it? What was even the name of the stuff? So it cross builds for RISC-V, but it doesn't cross build for natively runnable. Oh wait, config status. Wait, this doesn't. Oh, this is configured. What the heck? Why is one freaking using configure and the other is using Meson? What? Oh, this has extras on. But why is this? Oh, this is running configure. It's first running configure and then Meson? That's not ideal. Maybe we should... Does it do the same for RISC-V? Yep. I mean, probably we don't need both, so... Either with Dev... But anyway, why does one fail then? No build machine compiler for gen build machine compiler. Which we have. Probably Meson wants to somehow. The question is, I mean, maybe we disable, I believe it was that. Both should work. Yeah, I'm confident. Yeah, this will anyway build fruity. Ah, it's so freaking hot here, man. Okay, this now it also fails. How did it? This is bizarre. Yeah, bizarre. I probably better go fix this meson stuff, because usually it's usually slightly faster, and usually they phase out. And now it fails too. So some change just made broke it apparently. Okay, fine. I guess whatever. Yeah, we call it a good day here. I mean, yeah, why don't I still have a microkernel? Because I spend all my free time fixing other people upstream breakage. It's hilarious. Anyways, the other thing, we did some stuff, cross graph, and unified here. This stuff enabled. So this we probably should double check that, right? This gallium drivers. Or actually, yeah, the line is getting a little bit long, but this could not have been the reason to do that anyway. So yeah, meson build, so enable mesa for all architectures, and merge all driver statements, errors, something of that sort, right? Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, very theoretically it could have been 2 commits. If this triggers you, comment below. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this and learned something. This machine goes to sleep, and so do I. Have a good day and night. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Amazing release coming soon. Just some minor bug fixes away. And pro tip, the Linux kernel people, I tested this also already before the live stream. They fixed the Linux kernel. As I mentioned, the last 3 releases, Clang was Clang LTO, right? I didn't fantasize this stuff. x86 red pulling fixed position of func sections with config LTO. Yay! This works now too. I tested this already. So we very theoretically could ship releases soon. Yeah, leave me in the comments below. Ship now, wait for 6.5.1. Yeah, you guess that, get the idea. What was reverted? Oh, AskRC Divine. Oh, stuff. Oh man. Oh yeah, revert. Nothing like. It's only constants change and regressions. Order your free, not free, merchandise. DRF. Fix node pointer in AF Unix streams. Yeah, of course. DRM. QXL, regulator, ICE, and what else do we have? DRF, revert, yeah, stuff like that, right? The usual stuff. You guessed it. See you next time. Back tomorrow for more.